last week we concentrated on the African experience. We juxtaposed Europe with Africa so as to appreciate the importance of involuntary immigration and its influence on the creation of citizenship, or at least constitutionally, legal defining once and for all who exactly a citizen of the United States is. Now, the African experience influenced the development of civil and political rights for all immigrants in this nation. And we concluded the African dimension by reflecting on the most important movement for African recognition in the United States after World War I, and that was Marcus Garvey and the United Negro Improvement Association. Through that, we appreciated how American popular culture, ironically, is going to embrace the struggle to be recognized as a human being, inadvertently through the favorable reception of jazz. Yes, the Roaring '20s was a time of tremendous confusion and urban consumption. It was coupled with red baiting and nativist reaction. So, understanding America's reaction to blackness prepares us to come to terms with America's fascination with the yellow peril. Today, we will specifically explore the Asian expression. What we have learned so far from the European is that when you are in a disadvantaged position, you must organize for your rights. What we have learned from the African is that race is central to deciding who is privileged and who is not. And what is important for the Native American experience is that their expressive mobility, through their expressive mobility, is that Native peoples have always migrated throughout the continent as well as the entire Western Hemisphere since time immemorial. From the mountains to the deserts, through the rivers, and up and down the coastlines, Native peoples established homes everywhere. However, since Europe, Africa, and now Asia arrived in the Western Hemisphere, Native peoples have been removed to specific locations to accommodate everyone's arrival. Native peoples were removed for your contemporary enjoyment, for your experience as an American citizen today. So get to know this. So, back in the 1800s and at the turn of the 20th century, Americans referred to people from the East as Orientals. Today, we understand the label Asian American. But the term Orientals connotes discrimination. Well, why? Well, now that we understand the difference between white and black, let's appreciate what it means to be yellow. When we refer to people from Asia, why do we as Americans conjure up images of an alien race of people? Even though the term alien referred to Eastern Europeans at the outset, the Chinese are going to acquire an alien connotation that cannot be erased. Now, when looking at immigration to the United States from Asia, how competent are Americans in their ability to distinguish people from their diverse nationalities and ethnicities? Chinese, Filipino, Japanese, Korean, Indian. Can we really tell the difference amongst these beautifully diverse people? However, Americans have shown that they are prejudiced because these people supposedly have beady eyes and skeptical faces. How much do prejudices interfere with the American appreciation of the people, their culture, and their traditions? So the term Asian American was used informally by activists in the 1960s who sought an alternative to the term Oriental, arguing that Oriental was derogatory and colonialist. So formal usage of Oriental formal usage of Asian Americans was introduced by academics in the early 1970s. So today, Asian Americans form a significant community in the United States that demands our appreciation, that demands our support. Now, prior to the arrival of Asians to the Americas, we must appreciate that there were many international centers of trade throughout the East that brought diverse populations together. Manila, Hong Kong, and Okinawa housed diverse populations. When we speak of the Chinese coming to America, or the Japanese, or the Filipino, we have to appreciate that when the people arrive, they're coming from centers of trade that are already experiencing multicultural mixing. So Manila, Hong Kong, and Okinawa were homes to numerous populations. Labor forces of Chinese, Filipinos, Koreans, Japanese, Cambodians, Southeast Asians, Indians, people from Ceylon, just to name a few, were ready to embark on journeys for economic survival. Once the United States takes over Hawaii, all of the populations will find their way to the island to work on the sugar plantations that will be established there once the native Hawaiians have been removed. So Hawaii became a way station of labor for the Asian journey to the United States.